if I were to take a tour of my home and show you all of the secondhand things we own here, you might be shocked. You might be surprised. Do you want a home that looks a bit more like you and a lot less like it did when you moved in 10 years ago? Are you tired of seeing picture-perfect homes flood your Instagram feed? Why do they seem to have their decorating act together when it takes you hours to choose a single pillow? Hey, I'm Danny, a self-taught home decorator who got tired of gathering home inspiration just to have it collect dust on the shelf. I've been transforming my home one space at a time, and it all started on a Goodwill budget while babies were sleeping. Here's the thing, friend. You don't need to have a design degree to create a home you're proud of, one that tells your story with your style, and you definitely don't need to have bags of money just waiting to be spent. You just need a little help and encouragement along the way. So let's be design besties, shall we? Every Tuesday, I'll be sharing listeners' questions in my Dear Danny series, so you can make progress on your home, creating a house that you're proud to come home to. So go ahead and send me your question, then pull up a chair so we can chat friend to friend. And when you're ready to hang out real time, join the Collective, my membership with weekly lessons, live Q&A sessions, complimentary room edits, and hand-holding so you don't get lost along the way. All right, friend, let's dive into today's question. Last week, I shared examples of places I shop personally, and you'll notice that they're not really very fancy. I consider my highs and my lows the priorities I take in making those selections, and it's not like I can go out any day of the week and buy the thing I need. I'm just like you and need to budget, save, think about it, and plan, most importantly. But today I have a question coming in from Delia. By the way, Delia, can I just say I absolutely love your name. It's so pretty. But the question is, do you have any tips for shopping on a budget? Delia, you better bet I do, because here's the real truth. You hear it in my intro, and this is a true story. When I started decorating my home, we couldn't afford really anything. We just couldn't. I remember Greg was just starting his professional career, and he needed things that looked, well, professional. He needed things that were not jeans and a sweatshirt or jeans and a button-up. He needed a tie, a collar. He didn't need the suit, thankfully, but he needed the fancy things, and we literally scrimped and saved. But I noticed something really interesting. JCPenney, they don't do it anymore because I think they were on to me. JCPenney would send out, once a month, they would send out a $10 coupon. And the requirements for using that coupon were that you bought an item that was $11 or more. You better bet I took advantage of that every single month. Also, you better bet that I took advantage of Goodwill to subsidize some of Greg's professional wardrobe. All that to being said, I didn't have a ginormous budget left over for buying the things that I wanted to redo my home. So what are the tips I use? I have 5 for you. And of course, some of these are going to be things that you naturally do, or you might even say, well, of course, Danny, of course we do this. But maybe they're new. So let's check them out. The first tip is to, of course, shop the sales. What do I mean by that? I'm not just talking about recognizing that every once in a while, Fred Meyer or Hobby Lobby or Home Depot or wherever you're shopping has a sale. I'm talking about the big sales. I'm talking about the sales that are connected to holidays. We recently just went through President's Day, and I know President's Day sales are pretty ginormous. But there are some others throughout the year that are going to be giving you the biggest bang for your buck. I can think of Memorial Day, Labor Day, Prime Days. I can think of Wayfair Days, even brand specific like Prime Days and Wayfair Days. These are going to help you get the biggest bang for your buck. So if you like a brand like Pottery Barn or Crate and Barrel or whatever online brand you like, check to see if they have a sale designated time so that you can shop then. Okay, number 2, use a cashback app. And I did explain this a little bit in the summer, but cashback apps are really great opportunities for saving a little bit of money. Now, sometimes that cash comes directly, just gets taken off your bill. Sometimes it literally gets credited to you. Like I can think of Costco. Costco has a cashback app. Every time I shop at Costco, I get credited and I get a voucher then, at the end of the year for however much money, and I can use it specifically at Costco in order to purchase more product. Stores, even home decor stores, sometimes have this feature as well, but credit cards have that feature. So be looking at the things you naturally use, the stores you naturally shop at, and see if they have a cash back option. One thing I will do, and I do it, I don't want to say ruthlessly because that sounds really mean, but it is a matter of saving sometimes 5%, sometimes 10%. And I'm not encouraging opening up credit cards for credit card's sake. I am very much encouraging you to increase your credit score. But if you shop a certain store and you like using their credit card, or maybe you don't have their credit card, but they offer a savings for using the credit card, if you have wiggle room to do that, I would suggest you do that. Now, here's my strategy for doing it, and this is where I mean I am a little bit ruthless. Here's what I will do. And if you have ever stood behind me in line, oh, bless you, I'm sending you a big hug, and please use this strategy. I will use the credit card to purchase the thing to save the money, 5%, 10%, whatever. And then I will say, can I please pay off my bill right then? Yes, I do that. You guys, this is a loophole in their system, and I think it's absolutely okay. Now, if you don't feel comfortable with that, fine, but here's what I would suggest you do. Do not leave the store. Do not let that bill accumulate. Do not send it in at the end of the month unless you are a very good tracker of that. Otherwise, leave the line, let someone else have their turn, get back in line and say, I would like to pay that bill now. Or step out of line and pay it directly online right then. Maybe that's even the better option. Number 3, you know I'm going to say this, buy secondhand. You've heard the saying, one person's trash is another person's treasure. This cannot be more true. If I were to take a tour of my home and show you all of the secondhand things we own here, you might be shocked. You might be surprised. There are so many wonderful things that you can find on Facebook Marketplace, things that you can find at thrift stores, at consignment shops, at vintage retailers, antique stores, flea markets. You name it, there are places you can find. I have a very, very good friend who is a home decorator, and I love hearing all of the things that she comes up with. None of them are new. So this is not just a strategy employed by Cheap Danny, which, by the way, I don't like the word cheap. I do like the word frugal. I do like the word money manager, a wise money manager. I do like those words. So we're going to put cheap by the wayside. But my friend Christy will often want to redecorate a room just like you and me. And she might need even some big items. She has purchased her couches, her chairs. Just recently, I was in her home last week. She hosts our book club. And I was in her home, and you love going over to a decorator's home, right? Because there's eye candy in every turn. I walked into her home and I looked to see, oh my gosh, you changed the seating area, and how charming is that? Well, there was a new couch there. Now, I know, just like me, Christy is on a budget. She has a college student. She also has 2 kiddos who are actively involved in all the things, and one spouse who is the sole provider, right? So we are on budgets. This is realistic. So I knew without asking, but I did confirm it, where did you get the little couch? And yes, she got it on Facebook Marketplace. So don't underestimate that. Of course, you do need to have some strategy with that. You do need to use search terms that are going to be in your favor for that. I did an episode in the summer with Alyssa who taught us how to do that. So go back and listen to that episode if you can find it. I'll link it in the show notes. Okay, number 4, compare prices online and see if your store that you like has price matching. Okay, those of you who stood in line behind me doing this same strategy, I apologize. I'm sending you a ginormous hug, but here are some savings that you might not know about. Target, one of my very favorite places to shop. First of all, do you have the Circle app? If you don't, I would suggest that you do. If you are okay attaching it to your bank account. Now, don't go crazy. This is not something where there's automatic withdrawals. You don't have to worry about that, but you can use it to get an automatic savings every time you purchase. Now that would go back to the cashback tip, right? But here's the other thing. Target, and of course other stores too, will offer price matching. And I know that if I'm shopping for an item that might be a little bit expensive, I'm going to quick do a search to see if that same item is cheaper online at the store, because sometimes they are. Did you catch that? Sometimes from the same store, they are cheaper in the online form. But I'm standing right there. I want to bring it home today, so I will check online. If I see that that price is a little bit lower online, if there's an online sale, for example, I will ask the cashier to match that price, and they do it. They will do it happily. Of course, some stores will match prices from other stores. So just be a mindful consumer and ask those questions. All right, Delia, last one. Don't buy everything at once. Just don't do it. Because if you buy everything at once, not only will you be spending more money than you need to, but you're going to end up with a home that doesn't look well curated. It's going to look like you just went out and bought everything at once. Taking a little bit of time, having a little bit of patience, and of course, making sure that you are following the plan that you laid out in the beginning. And if you didn't have a plan, oh boy, where do we start? You need to have a plan. Because planning is going to be the thing that not only allows you to save money, to make intentional choices, but it's going to be the thing that allows you to choose cohesive choices. And that cohesive choice can't be made if you don't know your aesthetic. It is all tied directly together. I teach all of this inside of the collective, where we start literally with understanding your style, moving into how to create a cohesive looking home, and how to remediate the things that you might love that don't match that aesthetic. How do you remediate that? Do you have to throw it all away? No, you don't. But we learn that inside of the collective as well. Friend, being intentional decision makers can help us so much with reducing our overwhelm, with reducing the decision fatigue, with feeling a little frustrated that every time you go to refresh your space, something still feels janky and wrong and out of alignment. I hope you join me inside of the collective. There is always more room at the table. You can join us by going to figandfarmathome.com/the collective. And there, I'll see you inside. Friend, thanks for hanging out with me today. I appreciate you taking part of your busy day to tune in and listen. If you enjoyed the show, chances are someone else will too. And you know what? The best way for them to find it is by leaving a review. Doing that changes that pesky little algorithm that Apple Podcast has that allows my show to be seen by others. And if you can take 30 seconds to leave a review, it would make me beam ear to ear. I appreciate it. Until next time, I'll see you soon.